Hello everyone, it's Silvia from Tarot. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do an unboxing of a very much anticipated deck. So this is the box that I received the deck in. I have to say that so this deck came to me via a member of my group, and sometimes we do that in Australia because the shipping costs are prohibitive, and what we do, perhaps some of us reaches out in the community and we say we're gonna get that deck, but we're gonna get 2 copies, and then we just split the shipping cost. So I'm very excited because this is one of the decks that I've actually had in my wish list for a long time. I've seen it in other channels, especially in Annette's channel, A Project Refined Life, and I've always really thought that that was a deck that I really wanted in my collection. I missed out on the Kickstarter again. I don't even remember why. It was a Kickstarter from last year. So this deck has been in circulation for a while, and as you imagine, so it is an indie deck. I think it's still available. I actually know for a fact that it is still available in the Etsy shop of the creator, together with other decks that they created. But without much further ado, let's have a look. So basically, so very excited because this is the deck, and I don't know what this is. We're gonna have a look. And the deck came also with this card, which is the Empress card. And obviously, if you have this deck, you will know which deck I'm talking about now, because it is indeed the Empress card of the deck we're going to look at. I really like it when creators send you something more. It's always well accepted. It's always a really nice gift. And when it's a card like this, I can use it as a postcard, but I can also use it in my journal. You know, or even as a bookmark. It's really, really beautiful. So I am very, very excited about that. But first I wanted to talk about something else. So basically the person that bought 2 decks and then sent me one of the 2 is also a creator. So they make tarot bags, and they're absolutely fantastic. So I'm talking about the Tarot Bag Ladies. They're based in Queensland, but they do ship overseas, and you've heard about the Tarot Bag Ladies before in my channel because I have a few tarot bags made by them, and I've always been super happy about these bags. They're absolutely gorgeous. And this time I've actually chosen 2 bags. It's these 2 here. And there's a really nice thank you card. Really, really beautiful, by the way. I wish I had this dexterity with art, which I will never have. It's not part of my skills, let's put it this way. But look how beautiful this card is. It's absolutely fantastic. As I say, I really, really love receiving cards that I can keep, you know, in my journal. And these are the 2 bags, so let's just make some room. And one is this one, and I really love the colors. I mean, look how beautiful these colors are. There's a bit of blue and a bit of purple, and this theme with the leaves is just absolutely superb. And I'm thinking already about, you know what, I feel like putting the healing waves in this tarot bag. It kind of gives it the same sense of watery vibes and energy. And then the second one I picked was this one, and I erroneously at the beginning I referred to this animal as a moose. It's not a moose. My apologies. I'm not very good with the English name of animals. I believe this is actually a stag. So it's, regardless, it's very beautiful. I really love this. And by the way, the quality of the fabric is really exceptional. And I'm thinking about storing my Wildwood Tarot in this bag because it just really reminds me of that. And that was immediately a thought that I had when I saw it. So I'm really excited about these 2 bags. I'm going to put the link to the shop of the Tarot Bag Ladies in the description box below, just in case you want to have a look. So we talked about the card already, and let's move on. I still want to have a look at what this is. I have no idea. Let me just pick a scissor. Okay, so let's see what this is. it looks like it's essential oils in a vial. I don't know. Or is it a perfume? Past tense. Okay, relaxation blend. doTERRA. Ah, yeah, absolutely. Essential oil blend. I really know doTERRA and I really like that product. Now, I'm not, so I will need to check out whether this is still a present that has been sent to me by one of my members, the one that sent me the deck, or if this is originally from the package that comes with the deck. So I don't know about that, but in any case, I really, really appreciate this. I love essential oils. I use them all the time. I very much use a lot of senses when I use tarot because I believe that it's a wholesome experience. And so you guys know, if you watch my videos, you will know how much I consider important the tactile feel of the deck. So cardstock is very important for me, but also the noise of the cards when they shuffle, when you use them, for example. And obviously the visual aesthetics of the cards is very important to me too. But I really love to have scented candles around me when I'm reading. And also sometimes I use essential oils in my hands. I need to be very careful, obviously, because sometimes you can transfer the oils onto the card, which is not something that you will want. But I'm really excited about using this one. So let's move on, and now we are going to have a look at the deck. So you probably know by now which deck it is. Let's just open this up. I don't want to ruin this really beautiful, how do you call this, string? Yes, it's a string. And here we go. Okay, sorry about the noise. Okay, there's another card that's really thick, by the way. Okay, yes, so this is by Trisha. So obviously that's, you will know by now, it's the creator of many, many decks. I absolutely love this card. Let me just put it closer to the lens so you can see better. This is a deer. I believe this is a deer, and in the woods. It's so beautiful. I love everything about it. I love the color palette. I love the line work. It's fantastic. And let's just unwrap this deck. Okay, here we go. So, of course, if you have this deck and you recognize the Empress card, you would know that it's the Remembering the Sweet Fool Tarot. This is the Empress card that belongs to that deck. Let me just zoom in a bit because we can see it better that way. So as I said, I've seen this deck in a number of channels. I have seen also Annette from a Project Refined Life working with it. She has been focusing on this deck for the whole month of April, I believe. And she's also found a few Oracle decks that pair up really well with this one, which I'm actually going to try out later. So this is the Remembering the Sweet Fool Tarot by Trisha Murray. This is actually a limited and numbered copy. This is number 207 out of 300. So that tells me that there's not that many left. If you want to reach out and purchase this deck, you may have to do so within a short period of time. It comes with a really nice 2-parts box. I really like the feel of it. Let's see. So it also comes with a guidebook or a small booklet, let's say. It's not that small, to be honest with you. I thought that it wasn't that thick, but now that it's out of the box, is rather thick. And I don't want to break the spine, but I'm very happy to say that we've got a full page with the thumbprint in color of the card. And then we've got the card itself. I also have to say that this is not the most legible kind of font for me, and it's actually quite tiny. I really have to use my glasses, my reading glasses, which I am not wearing at the moment, so I can barely see that it says Ace of Points. I am the point clear. So I'm so sorry. I really should have been wearing my glasses. I can't really read it. But it is very interesting to have a little bit of description, at least, of the cards, because it always gives me the possibility to understand why the creator has chosen this particular image to represent that card in the tarot deck. It's always giving you an additional layer of interpretation and knowledge, which I always appreciate. So very, very useful. I will definitely have to use my glasses. And this is the deck. So as I said, two-part box, really, really nice. There's these feathers in the back of the cards, which are the same, I believe, as the feathers that we see on the box. The cardstock is very, oh, it's fantastic. It's got a very battery kind of feel to it. It reminds me a little bit of the Somnia Tarot. I have to say that it is a very standard size when it comes to the cards, although the corners are actually rounded in a more subtle way. Let's say they're not this. If you own a corner rounder, you will know that this is on the larger side. So normally you have 3 sizes to choose from, and this is the largest one. Sometimes this is used in oracle decks, and if you have any oracle decks, for example by Los Carbel or mostly from Hay House, you will see that this is the same size of rounding, whereas, for example, the most recent oracle decks by US Games have a narrow kind of rounding. I don't mind either way. I actually feel that this is in tone with the deck. At first look, it really does give you that sense of muted color palette in a way, although every now and then you do have splashes of greens, for example, or yellow. But I'm already quite happy about having this because it does feel like a very calming and soothing kind of deck. So let's have a look at the cards. So as I said, this was originally a Kickstarter, and I just missed out on it. I don't know why. Again, it looks like it's a very beautiful photographic deck. There's a lot of elements that we can see in the cards, and it does communicate. Now that I'm seeing it, it's in my own hands, and I can appreciate the photos and the images even more. I have to say, it really shows me how compassionate this deck might be. I love this card. That's the Temperance card with it looks like a mix between a High Priestess and a cat. And it really points out to that sense of inner peace that you can achieve with the passing of time through the calm movement of the Temperance card. So it's not a traditional RWS, you will know by now by looking at the cards, obviously. I do appreciate it when a deck gives me a different perspective. It's always something that enriches my own knowledge. It feels like this one, so this member of mine also told me a couple of decks that will pair up really well, and one of them is the Three Whispers Oracle. I may be butchering the title, it may be something different, but it's an indie deck. And it does use this technique of mirroring the image on one side and the other of the card. And it might be a really beautiful oracle to pair up with this one. Unfortunately, I don't have that one, but I do have a very similar deck that may pair up well with this one as well. And also, I think Annette was using this deck with the Death Doula Oracle. And I can see why, because this is definitely a deck that can be used for healing. It's a highly intuitive deck, as you can see. It feels like it's a very intuitive deck. But it's also a deck that really makes you focus on yourself, on everything that is going on within yourself. It feels like it's also a very centering, a very balanced kind of deck. Although I have to say, because it makes me feel like it's got a very wintry kind of vibe, but I could be completely wrong, but sometimes the prevalence of white and light gray sort of points to snow or, a snowy kind of landscape, and that's the reason why I was mentioning the wintry vibes. Perhaps I'm wrong, it's just really first impressions, and every time that I do an unboxing, I always want to point out that I do change my mind every now and then. I have absolutely no problem in admitting that sometimes I make mistakes, which is fine. I'm okay with that. As the daughter of cups, son of cups. So obviously the pages have been renamed as daughters, and the knights have been renamed as son. And then we got the queen and the king. So the queen and the kings in the core cards are still there. The minors also look like they have been renamed, although we do have cups. We have points for swords, and then we got heels, and I imagine that heels are... I don't understand whether heels could be pentacles. Yes, it feels like it's a very earthy kind of reference, so I imagine that heels are pentacles. And where are wands? Let me just go back, because I probably flipped through the cards quicker than I needed to, and because I did not actually expect, or I did not remember, that the minors had been renamed. I think we're 100% sure that points are swords, because this is definitely that kind of being stuck in a choice. I like the 3 of points. It's not necessarily showing me a pierced heart, but the 4 of points, yeah, it feels like this is definitely the swords. The suit is definitely the suit of swords that we can see from the 10 of points. And then we've got sticks. There you go. So these are the wands for sure. I do see the fiery energy of the suit of wands in the cards. And so then we have the cups. And of course, then we have, as we said before, the heels, which is very likely to be the suit of pentacles. Really, really beautiful. I really cannot wait to use it. Let me just, what we can do, I'm just going to shuffle the deck, and then we're going to have a look at a couple of pairings that I want to try out, and then we're going to do a reading. So I'm just going to shuffle. Okay, so I tried both shuffling the overhand and also the bridge and riffle. I have to say it is a kind of a thicker cardstock, so the deck is very thick, as you can see. And bridge and riffle shuffle are not necessarily something that is that I can do. I can do it only when I divide the deck in two, which is absolutely fine. I actually like that the cardstock is sturdy like this, because I feel like this is one of the decks that I'm actually going to use a lot. So now let me just show you how it pairs up with the Death Doula Oracle. And so as I said, the Death Doula pairing up with this, remember the Sweet Full Tarot was a pairing that was initially recommended by Annette. And now that I can try, so this is the Death Doula. It does have slightly larger cards, so I may have to zoom out for a second just for everyone to be able to see the cards. It is a really beautiful deck. If you are not familiar with this deck, it's really, really fantastic for any kind of introspective work that you might need. Originally, about a year ago, I posted a video in which I was showing how I was doing the Tarot in the Times Of. So Tarot in the Times Of is a series in which I focus on, for example, how I use Tarot and Oracle decks in which spreads to tackle some human emotions, such as grief, for example, confusion, trauma, etc. And this is a very airy deck for me. It feels like it's a very airy deck. So I was actually pairing it up with other airy deck like the Somnia Tarot. This one though is very intense because the cards are very intuitive. As you can see, it is the kind of photographic collage that sometimes is achieved through the method of stacking. So I talked about the method of stacking for a couple of videos before, and I don't know, to be honest with you, some of you actually commented that this has not been done, this is not the fruit of digital manipulation. So when we're looking at the older analog method of stacking, we will literally put a couple of negatives one on top of the other, sometimes even three, and then we will just print out of those three. And this would have been the result. I don't know because I haven't actually done any kind of research, so I could be completely wrong, but it feels and it looks like it's been achieved with this way. Now, there are borders in the Death Doula Oracle, which, let's say, have I seen any of you trimming the borders down? I don't remember. Someone may have trimmed the borders down to the artwork, and I think that in that case, this pairing will work even better. But in any case, let's just have a look at how these two work together. Regeneration between the 10 of Swords and the 9 of Wands. So I'm just renaming the suits so that it's clearer what energies, what alchemical energies we're looking at. So the regeneration that comes after the moment in which you really reached rock bottom, and that's representing that kind of ending. But it's also inherent of a new beginning. So the new beginning can only start when we achieve or when we allow ourselves to accept that something or a situation has actually come to an end. So we look into the regeneration, that phoenix kind of reborn process that we need to apply to the Ten of Swords. But that also points to some kind of resilience of the Nine of Wands, that energy that tells us that we've done a lot, we've taken a lot onto our shoulders, and it's more often than not, we're also taking somebody else's burden on our own shoulders, and that's probably not helping. So it almost looks like it's telling us that we need to take our time, we need to focus on ourselves, we need to focus on healing, and this process of regeneration will be successful once we accept that. Angel of incidence between the Two of Sticks, so the Two of Wands and the Ten of Wands. Odyssey between the Two of, so we said Heels was Pentacles, right? So the Two of Heels and the Queen of Heels. And Exaltation. See how beautiful these two are. I've already seen, as I said before in a few videos, how these two actually pair really well together, but seeing it firsthand, having the two decks right in front of me right now and feeling this kind of there's always some kind of echoes between the cards. When they actually pair up well together, there's a sort of a calling that goes from the tarot to the oracle and back. There is this kind of conversation, and when that is successful, it really makes you feel like the tarot reader or the person that's flipping the card is basically superfluous. We're not in here as an active participant. We're just taking a step back and we're just letting our mind wander and look at the cards and understand what the messages are that are coming out of the cards. I really have to say, so we've got the universe instead of the world card, but I have to say the solitude and the world card is very, very powerful because it's also together with the Three of Cups. So this points to how powerful solitude can be as a feeling for human beings. And that's why achieving that sense of completion with the world makes us feel like we've almost done everything, and then we feel lonely, we feel alone. The completion of something makes us feel like we have nothing to relate to others anymore. But then it brings about the Three of Cups that reminds us that we're not alone. We're still part of a group. We're still part of a community. We are friends with others. We are in a relationship with others. And that's the most important thing to focus on. Or the Son of Points. So points, I think points was related to swords. So this is the Page of Swords with unprocessed, and the Six of Swords. Wow. Okay, that is very powerful. I don't know if you can feel the energy of these two decks together. It's absolutely wonderful. The Six of Swords is a very important card for me because it's always pointing at a journey you kind of didn't want to take, but you find yourself embarking upon that, and you're full of hope because you come from a troubled situation and you're looking into this journey as the one that will break you free from the cage you were in, and then you're looking ahead at the shores ahead, because right now the waters are really choppy and you feel like you're in a non-safe environment. So the page of swords is pointing to always asking the right questions. It's always the person that asks why and needs to understand how things work. But when that process is unprocessed, when that process is unfulfilled, when that thirst for knowledge or asking why and how things work is not responded, is not answered, we can feel like almost we're in this journey and we're trying to understand what's going on. For now, what we can see is that right now we're in choppy waters, and we feel very unsafe, and we feel like this sense of dread is accompanying us. But we need to be careful, and we need to be also trusting that what we're looking towards, or what we're going, the direction we're going down, is actually the right one for us. Remothering, fantastic, with the Seven of Cups and with the Ten of Cups and the Seven of Cups. That's a really powerful kind of message that comes out of these cards. It's not just the way these two really pair up well together, it's also the way in which they feel like they complete each other in the messages. They point to an energy that is wholesome, that is really taking care of everything, is looking at everything, is understanding everything. It's a knowledge that gives us all the possibilities that we have in front of us. So access the dark with the Daughter of Cups. So we said the Daughter of Cups. Actually, the Son of Swords, now that I remember, I made a mistake, sorry about that. So the Son is the renaming for the Knight, and the Daughter is the renaming for the Page of Cups. So the Daughter of Cups is the energy of the empath. The Page of Cups is the archetype of the person who's always feeling everyone else's feelings. It's a person that sometimes has to be protected because they don't necessarily have that kind of evolution yet. That brings them to understand what they need to take and what they need to let go. So accessing the dark requires a lot of, let's say, a lot of rest that is brought about the Four of Points, the Four of Swords. So I completely understand the message here. It's a cautioning, it's a warning to protect this person from when they access the dark, because others taking on yourself everyone else's feelings can be very daunting, it can be depleting, and therefore that's why we need this kind of protection. And we also need this kind of rest in order to recuperate all of the energies that we have spent. Find a way, that's wonderful, within the Lover's card and the Three of Sticks, the Three of Wands. So we look at the choice, we're stuck in a choice here because the Lover's card always points to a choice. And so we're called upon to just pick a side, pick a direction, find a way, and that will celebrate your the movement of the Three of Wands, in which you're exploring, you're expanding your horizon, you're just moving on to a different shore, perhaps. Or the Ace of Points, which is the Ace of Swords, and the Void and the Two of Points. That's amazing. So obviously it refers to the sense of being stuck of the Two of Swords, where you don't necessarily have all the information that you need in order to make a choice, and you feel the void because that's what comes afterwards of the Three of Swords. So that sense of having lost everything. Wow. These two, honestly, they're just, I'm flipping the cards and I'm feeling this really strong energy, these vibes that talk to me, and it's not just relaying a message here, it's also an encouragement to focus on the cards themselves, on the images that are on the cards. And I really love this. I'm so very happy that I got this deck in my collection. I really, really like it already so much. So I wanted to show you another pairing. So we're just gonna take the other deck that I wanted to pair it with. And it's this one here. So as I said, it's not the Three Whispers Oracle, but it's a very similar one, although the title is completely different. This is called a Dose of Reality Oracle deck. It is the only element that shares with the Three Whispers Oracle is the fact that we have images of trees that are with the technique of the mirroring. But other than that, this deck has a completely different vibe. It's actually very cheeky, tongue-in-cheek kind of one of those decks that really tells you the truth, and it's actually slapping you in the face with it. And so I'm very curious to see, because remember the Sweet Fool Tarot has a very calm energy to it. It's very peaceful, calm, and almost, I was saying winter, the stillness of winter. That's what it reminds me of, even though there might not even be that many cards referring to winter in the deck itself. But that's the vibe that I get out of this deck. And so I don't know, this one has a very intuitive kind of imagery, but it's also very intuitive when it comes to the titles, or rather the keywords. So let's see if these two actually have a communication, if they pair up well together. I think they do. There is a difference in the cardstock, which I'm not too phased about. It's just fine, because this is matte and this is semi-gloss. So the Six of Pines, we've seen the Six of Swords before, and then the Son of Heels, and now we know that it's actually referring to the Knight of Pentacles. And warning. So obviously that works really well, because we need to understand the energy of the Six of Points, in which we are going towards safety, but we're not safety yet. And so there is this sense of reminding ourselves to always be careful, which is something that knights by themselves, they don't necessarily have. Knights are the ones that really throw themselves in the water to just learn how to swim. And so they are one step further in the evolution of the court cards from the pages, but they haven't reached the maturity of the Queen. So there is this sense of being careful of your surrounding, being aware of where you are. I think it pairs up well. As I said, I don't have the Three Whispers Oracle. I wish I did. I don't even know if it's available anymore. It might be, but as always, I think it's based in the US, and so there might be shipping costs involved. But it's fine, because I really like the way these two look together. They really speak to each other. There is this sense of communication that I'm just, being a witness to. I'm here because I'm choosing to take a step back and just look at the cards and let them talk to me. So drama with the Queen of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. It's nice because it reminds me that the Queen of Swords is the one that perhaps is the furthest away from drama. They have been going through something, trying and depleting, but they have survived, and so they have achieved that sense of resilience by recognizing the ups and downs of life, and that's brought about the energy of the Wheel of Fortune. Doomsday with the Five of Cups and the Queen of Cups. I love this. I think it really works well, because Doomsday is obviously to be taken in some kind of a ironic way. I think that I always say that the Five of Cups is the overreaction. So it's crying over spilled milk. And yes, okay, you lost 3 cups and sometimes you lost 2, but you still have 2 or 3 that are still upright. So don't focus on the sadness of the loss, because you've actually been called to move on from that. And so don't be over dramatic with the doomsday feel, and just, reconnect through thanks to the Queen of Cups, try and reconnect with your sense of self and your sense of whole, of being a whole. The structure between the King of Sticks and Death, wow, that's really powerful. Mirror between the Chariot and Temperance card. That's beautiful. I often refer to the Temperance card as a mirroring card, because it does show you that there's always this movement that goes back and forth, but it's one of the still movement. It's not something that takes you to a different position to a different dimension, to a different world. It's the movement that is implied in standing on your own feet and being grounded. And so it's also that kind of sense of mirroring of the movement of the water. Dumb and boring. You see you definitely see or feel the tongue-in-cheek attitude of the oracle, which is not necessarily something that I would have thought that it would pair well with the sense of peace and calmness of the remembering the sweet fool. But somehow I think it kind of, I don't know, it kind of works. And it's not, as I said, not just because of the similarities when it comes to the artwork or the images on the card. So shadow for the Seven of Pentacles and the Tower card, absolutely. I definitely see there's always an acknowledgement of the fact that in the Seven of Pentacles, you may be confused. You may not have taken the right path, and that sense of shadow that comes out of the Tower card when you do realize that. So really, really loving these two together as well. But this is just first impressions. I also think that the Remember the Sweet Fool Tarot would probably pair up well with the Crystal Grid Oracle, which is a Rockpool, I think, publication. I don't have it here, or rather I do have it, but because I'm doing some spring cleaning, I actually couldn't find that deck. Otherwise, I would have shown you, and I would have tried it myself to see whether it pairs up well or not. But a stupidity between the Daughter of Sticks and the Three of Sticks. Sometimes we just do things without really thinking too much. Or Victim with the Justice. Well, that brings about that sense of consequences, and the Lover's card. So you made the wrong decision. Wow, really, really wonderful pairing. So what I want to do now is just a 3 cards pool, because I enjoy reading with my decks as well. So we're just going to shuffle again. Okay, so let's see how it fans out, because I haven't tried that yet. Some decks, this is not the best surface to see whether a deck... Oh, okay, fantastic, sorry. Wow, that's perfect. Love it, absolutely love it. So we're just going to do a 3 cards pool. And we're also going to have a look at the guidebook. What does the guidebook say? And let's see. So sometimes I look at what's at the bottom of the deck. So the Four of Cups, okay, we are in that sense of stillness. We are in a bit of a blocked, kind of emotionally blocked kind of situation. So we're going to have a look at what these cards say, because that might or might not relate to the reading. So let me put them in the center here. Okay, so we've got the Four of Points, which is, as we said, the Four of Swords. So there is this sense of stillness that is actually confirming the Four of Cups. There is a stillness of feelings or emotions when it comes to the Four of Cups, but the Four of Swords is always referring to a stillness of the mind. So there's always a sense of probably taking a step back and rest that is necessary. With the Devil, okay, yep, I can definitely see that. So we've been in a situation in which we probably listened too much to what we wanted, what we wished, and we kind of made a faux pas. We took the wrong step. We kind of let ourselves go in a moment of weakness. The devil is tempting us, and we just succumb to the temptation for a moment. But this is the card that is referring to the past. So it's obviously telling me what the reasons were for this situation to be into being right now. So why are we in a moment of stillness right now? That why is our mind feeling like it needs to rest right now, because of it has been depleted? And that comes from the fact that we definitely we went a bit overboard with following our primordial kind of desires and letting those be overwhelming to us. So we obviously need to retrench and rebalance. And of course, we need to start this journey again. So, okay, there's nothing wrong in admitting that we've probably done a mistake. We made a mistake. We recognize that, we achieve it. We accept it. We also acknowledge it, as in we acknowledge the energies that has brought this situation into being. So we also acknowledge that right now there's not much that we can do about this, and we're moving on to a new adventure soon. But I also want to have a look at what the guidebook that comes with the deck says. So we got the photo points. We got, where is it? Here. So, okay, so it took me a while. I had to read it 3 or 4 times in order to understand it. It feels like it's a poem. So the photo point says, I build a box and sit me down. A breath to take, a moment here, a space for the mind to clear. That is definitely the energy of that sense of taking a moment to clear up these negative energies that were driving us in the past. So I really love also this interpretation. I had no idea that the description of the cards would have been in this kind of poem-like form. I love it though, because it is very spot on. Poems, I love poems when they're clear. When they're not so clear, I don't like to relate them to the cards because they don't necessarily give me what I'm seeking, that they're not telling me the meaning of the cards. So let's just go to the Devil card to see what the interpretation is. And again, I'll probably have to read it. Okay, this is very beautiful, but I have to tell you, this is very hard for me to read. I'm just going to show you how it's not just that it's tiny, it's also that the font is not very clear, but it's very beautiful. So it took me 3 attempts to actually read it. It says, the devil smiles, hands me the rope and helps me step in, whispering sweet, empty nothings in my ear. Okay, and then it goes on, and I'm so sorry. I have to apologize. I really struggle. And I'm actually wearing the glasses now. So what I'll do, when I will study the deck with the guidebook, I will definitely have to use probably a magnifying lens or something like that. It sounds pathetic, I know. Trust me, I know, but I really cannot. I mean, there's some words that I really cannot understand. It's my bad. It's, I mean, I'm sure no one had the same problem. It's just me. But I really, really love it. It's really giving me these kind and compassionate kind of vibes. And so I'm actually kind of curious if you have this deck, what do you think about it? It's is it part of your collection? Is it in your wish list? Or did you rehoard it because perhaps you didn't bond with the deck? I don't know. Just let me know how you use it. But for now, thanks so much for staying with me till the end of this video. More to come. Have a great day.